Why I was asking about what you keep sacred is because that's what keeps coming up as something you can't argue with people around. Or said differently, as something that if you shift, then how you are in life shifts. And I've met enough people who keep sacred their comfort or money or how they feel, their belief system, etc. And that's where they come from in what they do. And I do think it's our values or what we keep sacred that I think has the loudest word. And I just recently had a conflict with somebody, and the conflict was that the other person held as valuable the feeling and morality, like what feels right. And I kept trying to come back to the promises, the word and agreement between us. And we sorted it out, but at the end, what I realized is that not everybody plays my game, where when you make a promise, you honor that promise, which means you either keep the promise, and if you don't keep the promise, you take into consideration that breaking the promise not just upsets people, but it creates the foundation of unworkability. So if you keep changing your mind, if you keep going with the flow, if you keep having some moral judgment, belief, weight, emotion in a way of what you promised, then that's what you are have the final word. And it is not easy to identify with your word, meaning make a promise and then have the universe conspire in your favor. Not always, like sometimes you have to break the promise. And what there is to do then is repair the broken promise. Most people are not trained in even thinking that word is how you create. Because if you don't have word, you don't have anything. Your beliefs can change, your thoughts can change, your feelings certainly can go up and down. I can be an emotional mess if I let the feelings have the final say. But one thing that you can manage is your word in a matter. And the more you manage yourself as your word, the more your word has weight in creating something. Like when I promise something to people, they relate to it as it's a done deal. Except recently, I realized that there are places where I'm not keeping my word to myself. So let me share that. The other day, I realized I have some dental trauma that I have gone through in the past. I noticed that trauma, that fear of going through that pain again had me be shell-shocked and had me not be able to keep my word to myself, which is that I go and I do the checkups that I need to do and I take care of my health. That's my word to myself. And what I had to do is I had to request support of my husband to hold my hand through that. Sometimes things will not be easy for you, or making a promise to fulfilling on that promise that you would rather dismiss and not look. And that might mean that something happened or there's just support to get so that you can be your word. And that's what I do as a coach, of course. But I think that we can find a friend or somebody who we trust to just help us through those things where there's a pebble in a shoe or something on a road that has us not be easily fulfilling on what we say we want to fulfill. And that will be very empowering. I'm scared right now, but I'm empowered. I just want to say that I did it, and thinking about it was far worse than actually doing it. And for me, this is me restoring my own personal integrity with myself, where I say that I want freedom, and I say that my commitment is freedom, and then what I do is not take care of things as they need to be taken care of due to fear or past trauma or whatever it is. What that contributes to then is absolute lack of freedom, because my schedule today was completely upside down because I had to go in as an emergency walk-in. And when you don't take care of your integrity, You're always in a state of emergency, or it's a matter of time when you're going to have an emergency. It's really a lifestyle, and I keep wanting to just bring this up. Clean slate to create as a practice of clearing what's in a way, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, clearing what's in a way, you get to empty space. You get that there's no inherent meaning to life itself except the one you give it, except the one you formed from young age, culturally, many different reasons. Creating Your Life is a masterpiece, is the program that really deals with that. Once you reset and you're in a space of nothingness, anything is possible. And the way you create is by declaring what you are committed to and then aligning yourself to your commitment. This is available to anyone who is willing to do the work to create rather than just give up and complain about it, which is easy to do.